Hello, friends. It's your boy. That's me, Dom, aka Young C. And you're watching / listening to Dom's Sketchcast. That's my show. This is episode 26. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, welcome. Whatever it is that you're doing, hope you're feeling good. I would advise you right now, whatever you're doing, take a deep breath and just let that motherfucker out. You know what I'm saying? Nice and clean. It's fucking Friday. Come on. I know you're feeling good. I'm feeling good. It's the weekend. And if you're like me, a 9-to-5er, you're happy about it being the weekend. Right now, it's Memorial Day weekend. It's pretty nice. We have a good show today. And we're going to get into some really cool, interesting stuff I think you all are going to like. Okay? Format's a little bit different. I'm in the physical world right now. I'm not in the digital world as much. I'm going to be drawing in my sketchbook. Actually, you can see me drawing in my sketchbook right now. There's stuff that I'm sketching that I'm going to tell you all about. Some of it I won't tell you about. You know what I'm saying? Before I get drawing more and talking about my sketches more and all that stuff and what's going on in my life and staring off into the distance longingly, I want to remind you of a few things. What keeps the lights on, what keeps me going, what keeps me on the path to more financial freedom, getting you all more videos, getting more connections, growing more, are a couple of things. But I'm going to mention the two big things. Patreon.com/valet. Go on there, check out the rewards, sign up on there. There's blogs, there's behind the scenes stuff. Going to start doing tutorials, giveaways for original sketches, which are rare, super, super rare, and way underpriced. You want to get into those things now. The other way to support me is go to domrabron.com/shop. Buy a print or two. Maybe buy a shirt. I'm going to tell you what kind of stuff is available at the end of this episode. So stick around a little bit more. Ooh, what am I drawing today? Shit. I don't know. Let me draw Valet the Summoning card. When I draw Valet the Summoning card, I'm just going to draw whatever is on this deck. Let me just shuffle this thing up. This thing keeps me on my toes, right? I'm going to draw a card and it's going to make me draw whatever. So this one says, Ava 1 item. Ava 1 from Evangelion. Okay, that's an item card. So that means I got to draw Ava 1. A giant mech. A giant purple bloody mech. And you know, I don't have a reference image in front of me. So I'm just going to draw kind of what that robot feels like to look at. How it feels to watch Evangelion and see those giant bloody robots beat each other half to death. You feel me? So today I'm going to be working on this sketch a little bit. Talking a little about the sketchy sketches in this book. We got a good question I'm going to spend some time answering toward the end of this episode. This week, this episode, I guess I wanted to recap some of the cool stuff that's been happening this week. Some really good stuff has been happening. Ryan Tomczak, friend of Blue Cerberus, one of the founding members of Blue Cerberus, is in town right now. And if you see on the videos I've been putting out, the vloggy type videos where I'm outside and they're shot and edited very well, it's because of Ryan. Whenever you see that shit look like fire, it looks great, it's because Ryan is at the helm. I want to send a big shout out to Ryan, who's around for the summer, and we're making cool stuff. So this week we put out our IGOR Drawing 2 video, which is really good. It's been doing well in the views department, but also in the comments department. People are engaging a lot with that video, which makes me very happy. we work super hard on those videos. We sit around talking about them a lot, practicing framing, composition, talking about that stuff, talking about our inspirations, what makes us want to make things. And it feels sort of like being in college again. Being in college again when I was, I want to say starry-eyed, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, or whatever. I guess I was pretty hopeful. I was pretty hopeful in college. I still am now. I think I go through deeper periods of, I wouldn't say hopelessness right now, but more like, okay, when is it gonna happen? When is it gonna fucking happen? Because like the worst kind of comment that I see is it's so sincere, and I know that people don't mean it to come off this way to me, but it's sort of like, should I reveal this? Should I reveal this to the people? When I see comments that sort of have this implication that I am nowhere near where I need to be, the comments that are sort of like, dude, Dom, why don't you have more views? Like that kind of comment, it's just, all right, it's not the worst in the traditional sense of that word, but those hit me emotionally, where I'm really, really thankful that people are commenting. And even as I'm saying this, I'm like, yo, delete this. Delete this whole video right now and fucking start over. But I won't, okay? Because we're here. Those kinds of comments make me feel like, they put me in that state of like, oh shit, I'm comparing myself to other people, and I'm like, damn, all right, I'm not at the place I need to be. And I know that, and I feel like everyone who watches my shit knows it, because what I'm doing here is, it's super unique, and I'm just gonna put my foot down and say that it's really unique, and I know no one is doing stuff that I'm doing, because no one is me, and I think no one is really digging into as many sources as I have. I'm digging from a lot of different continents of content and art and abilities to try to make this thing. And I know you all value it, and you all are supporting me, and I want that to grow. I have strategies on doing that. We're going to be inviting more people onto this show and figuring out more of what this thing is. Part of what DSC is, this podcast is, it's me in the process of figuring things out. I want to show you all the nuts and bolts of me figuring stuff out. Because, I mean, there's going to come a time when, man, I got them bad allergies, you feel me? There's going to come a time when I'm doing things, I'm already doing pretty cool stuff for clients and big gigs and stuff like that, but it's going to get bigger. That's the trajectory. It's going to get bigger, and then once I hit a certain level, it's going to start elevating even more, to the point where I'm going to be interacting with people you've seen on TV, you've seen on newspapers and whatnot. And this is really important. This right here is important for me to be here with you. For you to be here with me, watching me doodle in this book, and I'm still in my apartment, and I still have a day job, because I don't want to be fake with this shit. You know, like I don't want you all to ever look at what I'm doing and feel like I'm somehow in a place that you can't get to. Because if anything, I want you all to feel empowered to go do your shit. So go do whatever it is in your head. And I want to leave this bread trail, this trail of crumbs, this trail of whatever digital confusion, and me sitting down and changing my podcast every week and trying something new every day. Because eventually it's going to be a little less new every day. It's going to be a little more confined and sort of constructed for me to go crazy inside of a structure. And I don't know what this show's going to look like 5 years from now. I don't know if I'll be here 5 years from now. You might not be here 5 years from now, but I want to keep sticking poles inside of wherever I am. Sort of like when you're trying to summit Mount Everest. When you're on Mount Everest and you're sort of sticking things down in the snow to let people know where you were. That's what this is right now. I hope that you're watching this in the future or listening to this in the future after I've started doing stuff that's even more amazing. On the sketchbook right now, I have so many characters and ideas I have not talked about because I always have this feeling that it's going to be ready at some point, but it's not right now. Like, oh, it's not ready. They can't see it. They mustn't see it. But you know what? I'm going to let you see it. So this is a group of villains. This is a group of supervillains or henchmen. They're called the Searchmen. And the Searchmen are pretty interesting because they are the descendants of Google, a Google-like system, a Google-like structure that basically became sentient. So in this world I'm creating, this insane world where the Dead King exists and all these other characters, there's a search engine called Knowledge. That's what I'm calling it right now. And it gave birth to a bunch of people because it was sort of like, I want to know what it feels like to be human. I'm tired of people asking me questions all the time. Like, I'm sentient now. So it gives birth to, like, I don't know, 50 people. And they all have different ways of interacting with the world, right? Because they have sort of infinite knowledge, infinite recall, and the ability to interact with the world in a different way. So a bunch of them end up using that for good. Some of them use it for different purposes. What they think is good, but is like detrimental to humans. Maybe they run around killing people or stealing information, that sort of thing. But the way I design them is they have search bars sticking out of their heads. So it's literally like, imagine a Google search bar and someone stabbed it into the side of your neck. And these guys are just running around, and some of them are just, you see searches that people have typed and they're inside of their bodies. And Sadie Coates right here, who you can also see, this is an exclusive right now. This is the first drawing I did of Sadie. She's the main enemy of the Searchmen, a descendant of Google, a very, very smart person who is opposed to what the Searchmen are doing. I really like this. This is a collage from some Nat Geo books, a little bit of Prismacolor pencil, pen and ink, graphite from this pencil, the go-to pencil. Some of you may remember from the IGOR video. Sadie will return. Sadie will be involved in the giant mythos, the giant story I'm creating, again, involving the Dead King and all of these other characters. Okay, we're going to answer a question. But before we do that, I want to remind you, two of the prints that are available are the Dead King. We still have a couple prints available of that. About 17 or so. About 17 prints left of the Dead King. This is a painting I made in the making of a painting series, and it's of an original character who will be coming up over and over again, and you'll get used to him. He'll have different forms. He'll come in and out of reality, and I'm really excited to show you guys what I have going on for the Dead King. So you want to head into there and cop one of those. The other print that's available right now is of IGOR. IGOR is a special print, and I'll show you that in this book. Boom. Drew this for the Tyler Drawing to IGOR video. And this one's going like hotcakes. The boy Fantano shouted this one out. Thank you, Fantano. Thank you, Base Fantano. Fantano shouted this out on IG and Twitter. And there are only 3 prints of this left. 3 prints of the IGOR left. So if you guys could jump in there, just hop on that shit. It's limited edition. I'm going to remind you once more, it's limited edition. And someday these things are going to be way too expensive for you to afford. And you're going to be like, fuck, I wish I bought. So right now, as you're listening to this, As you're listening to me answer these questions, just hop on domrabron.com/shop or scroll to the bottom of the show notes. You can click it and go right there, and just as I'm talking, just let's get this motion going. Let's get this momentum going. Just go in there and buy one. Just buy that shit. Just hop in there. And if you copped one, let me know in the comments below. If you copped one in the past or in the present or in the future, if you're going to cop one, let me know. Let me know. But especially if you copped one, I'm going to shout you out. Just like I would shout out those valets. Just like I'm going to shout out the top valets at the end of this video. We have a question from Tommy Tootsters. If you all have any questions for me, you can always ask at domrabron.com. That's the best way. That's the best way to ask me a question is ask at domrabron.com. Question from Tommy Tootsters. He says, hey Dom, how are you? I made a video for you, but I'm not sure if I got to my point entirely, so I'll see if I can type it. Lately, I've been having issues on how to deal with the fact that I'm officially an adult now. I graduated, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to college, and I'm going to get an art degree, but I don't know, I guess. I'm just worried about the future, and I think I'm not doing any of the right things. This is very natural. This is a natural feeling. This is a good feeling. Not knowing what's going to happen is one of the greatest assets that we have as creative people. It's one of the greatest assets because they're not going to see you coming. And when I say they, I mean, sometimes I feel like our ideas and our aspirations are almost like adversaries, almost like Pokemon that we have to catch. It's a battle. It's a battle with yourself. It's a battle with the world, everything that's around you. But you need the element of surprise as much as possible. And believe it or not, ignorance is amazing. Neil Gaiman told me that once. Ignorance is amazing. Not knowing what you're going to do is amazing. Not knowing what you're going to do in art is like Mugen with his sword in Samurai Champloo, where it's like you could be like Jin and have a whole plan and go in there and like I'm very trained and I've trained under the masters and I know exactly what I'm talking about. Or you could be like Mugen. I mean, like, look, Basquiat is my favorite artist ever. The motherfucker didn't go to art school, and some of the most brilliant people I've ever met, like D-Respect being one of them, didn't go to fucking college. Some of the smartest people. And to me, what that means is raw energy and dedication always wins out. But not knowing what you're going to do, not knowing what you're going to do in college is such an advantage because you don't know. You don't know anything. No one's beaten you down yet. You haven't had a big contract go under that someone had to pay you a kill fee for, and you signed an NDA. No one's ever going to see it. You haven't had you haven't put out a bunch of prints and no one bought them, which I mean, like, it's happened to me. It's happened to a bunch of professional people I've worked with. You're going to go through so many mistakes and errors, and every time I do one of these shows, I'm learning things, I'm trying things, and I very often don't know what I'm doing, but that's where your drive comes from. I would say that's like chakra, that's like mana. Not knowing what you're doing in a creative field is, I guess it's good and bad, but like that mixture where those things intersect, not knowing versus knowing, that's where everything explodes, right? That's where you're able to make really interesting stuff because you don't know. Being worried about the future, it's difficult for me to say this because I struggle with the same thing, but it's pointless. It's really pointless because you don't know and it's not here. The only thing you have is the present, and the past exists, but the present is the only thing that actually exists. So for you to be worried about the future, it's like, well, it's not here. And I guarantee you, someday you're going to be looking at your college career, like where you were now. I guarantee you, you're going to say to yourself, enjoy this, because it's never going to be like this again. And I promise you, it's not going to be like this again. This is not to say that your future isn't going to be brighter, because it will be. But this right now that you're in, You got to just enjoy it and work as hard as you can. Work harder than you think you should. And that's going to go a really long way. But yeah, you guys, you recent graduates, shout out to Maxie, recent graduate, Tommy, congrats. I love that you all are listening to this, and I hope that you're getting value out of it. Learn from my mistakes. The people who come on this show and talk as well, learn from them. That's my big advice. And also just when you're in college, remember that it's different from when I was in school, or that my predecessors, all the people you look up to, it's way different now. And you can look at this as like a supplemental part of your education. YouTube is a part of your education. Podcasts are as well. Don't feel like you have to spend a lot of money. For those of you who didn't graduate, for those of you who are dumb and didn't graduate from high school or college, you dummies out there, you have as good an opportunity as anyone else to have an education. So shout out to y'all, man, for being here. My nose is all fucking stuffy, but I'm here. God fucking damn it. What you have to look forward to this weekend on DSC. We got Flying Lotus companion video coming out today where I talk about what I expect from Flamagra. Haven't listened to Flamagra yet, even though it's out right now. Going to be listening to Flamagra over the weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, long weekend. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'll just be chilling out, working on the Valet, the summoning cards, probably this deck you see in front of me. I have not given up on this. Let's pull another one, just so you all see. Kai Cool. I'm not going to explain who that is. Google it. You know what I'm saying? Working on so much cool shit. Can't wait to show you guys. Thank you for listening. Don't forget the ways to help me out. I'm not going to beat you over the head with it this time. Next time I'll tell you more about that. Thank you for being here. Shout out to the valets from patreon.com/valet. Especially the top tier valet, Asa James. You're a real motherfucker. Thank you. All right, y'all, take it easy. Be good. Make some creative stuff. Tell a friend about this show. If this means anything to you and you know some artistic creative friends, put this show on while you all are drawing. Just put it on and just make something. All right, take it easy. Be good. Love you.